Saya welcome guys di channel YUDIS Gaming guys ya. Kali ini kita akan bermain Genshin Impact cuy, yang dimana kita mengerjakan quest Archon guys ya. Quest Archon itu quest story-nya guys, atau quest yang wajib dikerjakan karakternya guys, atau main questnya cuy. Main questnya itu biar cepat tamat guys ya istilahnya. Let's go mama. Kita bicara kepada karakter ini guys ya, di Sumeru. Yang dimana ini kuisnya ini ngapain bang? Bicara kepada sini cok, cewek ini. Bicara dengan Nahida ya. Aku kurang tahu cok kenapa ini. Pokoknya kita sapa lah dia dari dunia mimpi guys ya. Iya dia di dunia mimpi cuy kemarin waktu itu, yang dimana pikiran mimpinya itu udah diulang-ulang terus guys, sehingga dia meninggal guys ya. Dan rupa-rupanya dia terselamatkan gitu guys, dan dia sekarang kebingungan guys ya, jadi dia perlu istirahat cuy. Jadi kita bicara sama Nahida nih, apa misi kedepannya cuy. Misinya sih udah selesai, katanya tadi mau bicara sama Nahida. Oh ini Nahida. Ini Nahida apa Catherine kocak? Oh Nahida cok, ini Catherine anjir.
Travel? I see.
Bicara dengan Nahida tuh. Oke, kita kemana nih? Seperti pahlawan. Bicara dengan Catherine di kota Sumeru. Let's go. Nah itu Catherine anjir, kok Nahida. Kita bicara sama Catherine guys ya. Ini apa lagi nih? Nah, Ad Astra Obisox, let's go. Mana dia? Mana cok? Oh pakai animasi Ad Astra Obisox.
Hi Catherine.
Do you have any commissions for us?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this?
Oke, ini
Please
dia ngasih
attend the
komisi kepada
Academia's
kita guys ya.
academic symposium.
Wait,
And if possible, please also use your camera to cap.
huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two.
Was it so obvious?
Pantasan
I was
anjir, dia
hoping you would
berubah
actually
guys.
take one of those
Jadi Catherine
commissions.
sebenarnya mana cok?
That kind of chance to observe humans
Gue
doesn't
BTW
come.
gue udah punya lu
So
anjir
it's
bocil.
Nahida. Paimon just knew
Kita akan
Catherine when it.
memberikan dia dendro guys ya. Let's go.
From when she said. So it's been you this whole time?
Sampai si Paimon kesal guys ya.
Are you
Kayak si
done
Catherine
messing
ini
up?
si
Yes.
Nahida anjay.
I've been sleeping ever since
Berarti
we
nanti di
parted
dunia
ways.
nyata Nahida
And I
juga
even
kah?
had a really, really
Kurang tahu
long
guys, kurang tahu
dream.
guys, kurang tahu guys.
It was another dream
Cuma kita
about the
lanjutin aja
Sub-Zero
guys ya, ini
festival. Except it was
menyerang
happy
monsternya
in
sih
my
nggak ada
dream.
guys ya, cuman
I was sitting in the middle of
terjebak
a
di
flower
ini pakai
terrace.
logika aja sih ya. Di
Everyone
bagian
in
ini sekarang
Sumeru
pakai
City
logika
was
guys. Kemarin
holding
tuh kan
hands as they.
di Archon
I
nyerang
also got to
itu
sit on a
naga, yang
gigantic
kedua
flower
itu si
carriage. Ferris, the night of
Inazuma
flowers.
listrik ya kan,
You know,
lawan si
Nahida,
apa Archon
maybe
listriknya.
your dream is how the
Belum
Sub-Zero's
kayaknya guys,
festival
belum
really
guys,
should be.
nanti
It's
terakhir
meant to be
konten
a
ya kan,
joyous
dunia air
time where
cuy. Ini
everyone
dunia
gets together to celebrate.
hutan.
Huh?
Let's go mamang. Ini BTW Sumeru ada terbagi dua guys ya.
No, we aren't pitying you. That
Sumeru
would only
hutan
make
sama
it.
Sumeru
By the
padang
way,
pasir cuy.
have you had a chance to
Cuma
visit
kayaknya
Dinner's
bosnya
Eye?
dua nanti guys.
How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out. Right. Who knows what'll happen if. So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sage's activities. As for. Oh! Good point.
Oke, mimpi kekosongan dan muslihat. Masa iya lagi main logika lagi, cok. Mimpi muslihat kekosongan itu terus, cok.
Let's continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any. Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear.
Oh, rencana kita itu membasmi Sage guys ya, yang mencoba menyuri mimpi kita lagi cok, orang-orang Sumer. Oh, oke. Let's go
We're in
lah
the
ya guys.
dark as of now. After
Berarti si
all,
Nahida ini ingin menyerang si Sage guys ya, cuman
I've already tried. It
dengan
seems that
korbannya
Have you
kita
already
cuy,
caught the
yang
sage's
disuruhnya, biar
attention?
dia tidak kelihatan
I'm
curiga
guessing
gitu kan,
not
si
yet.
Sage-Sage ini cuy.
But
Karena kan kita
in
orang
any
luar cuy,
case,
kita adalah
I
traveler
probably
atau
can't take
pengembara
over
gitu
their
kan.
minds directly.
Jadi si Sage ini kan anggap kita ini netral cuy, nggak berpihak sama siapapun. Let's go mamang.
No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be. No, doing that would be ignoring.
That's a good point. Spoken like the god. Are we Nahida? You're super smart, so you already have some.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound... Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's...
Actually, I already have someone in mind.
Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero was fest. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. Soon after, the star witnessed the star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on... But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert.
Indeed. When they are she's suppressing a lot of guilt. But before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. That way, from my past observations, tomorrow afternoon, to prepare, let's go check out some...
Oke, kita mengumpulin informasi sesuai arahan Nahida cuy. Let's go.
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune teller. No, I already have enough in...
Talking style and...
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over the divine voice of wisdom?
Huh? Really? Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding it.
Of course, of course. It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of...
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the... Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
The one who is fated to cross your path will appear on Harut, Marut. Did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a
Actually, Paimon thinks this is...
I admit that the orientation...
Is that so?
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit.
Terus kita kita ke sebelah mana ya? Oh ini. Depannya ya, Cok. Oke, kita diam guys ya biar masuk lagi ini.
Is this another one of Satari?
Yep,
Ceritanya guys.
it belongs to a king. His father helps Satari a lot when I start talking with him.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild?
Speaking of, where did you learn this trick?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's amazing. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pain.
That's nice. You're making a living.
So is your...
Oh, no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg.
I see. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some good.
No problem. Rest easy, all are good.
Oke, kita ke ini guys ya, kumpulkan informasi. Oke, yang di sini.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia.
Nahida, you've really...
It's my duty to protect Samira's citizens.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? If I recall, you were having a discussion with some...
Ah, that's right! After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and... But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform...
What an admirable spirit.
Sure, but...
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees...
I see. Guess that makes sense.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the...
So, was that...
Three familiar faces should...
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Sataria is already used to avoiding her prop. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the... Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the faith of her homeland...
Oh, Paimon gets it now. You want to take advantage of the guild. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
Well, King Deshret is long gone. And Sataria is also too smart to fall for any simple... If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be... But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk...
So, you mean you're going to possess those people?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret. And as long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure.
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form.
Exactly. So, best of luck.
Huh? Best of luck?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha...
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does
Although I've been observing humans for a while,
You're not wrong. It's always been
if it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over...
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow.
Oke, kita putar waktu dulu guys ya, sampai besok jam 12 cuy. Let's go. Oke, selesai. Langsung saja kita pergi ke pasar melaksanakan rencana cuy. Apa nih rencana si Nahida ya?
Oh, here she comes. Satari...
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you.
Paimon's starting to feel... Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me is a very different... are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about...
Okay then. You just seem... Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they?
So, which fortune do you want me to...
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you...
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work?
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal...
Anjir. Ho atau Cok. Kayaknya guys ya.
The gods are asking. Sitaria, why haven't you...
Why haven't I gone home? To the gods?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apology. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course...
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can...
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of...
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this... I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry.
Well done. Sitaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida,
All I know are some abstract Haravatot theories. In any case, my time with you has shown a lot of... Anyway, enough of that.
He's out of Kim's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
Oke, yang satu lagi yang toko depan, Cok. Let's go. Ini pertanyaannya kemarin ku singkat-singkat, jadi sorry kalau salah guys ya, ngulang-ngulang.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I... Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I've been thinking a lot about him. Actually, while we're talking about him,
Yeah, he's been retired.
if you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos. He has a quick temper, and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a
Oh? So, who are you siding with? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those—
Akeem, you don't mean you've also become a believer of King...
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain.
Oke, alright, yang terakhir guys, lari dia. Mana nih?
Come on!
Oh yang
Sataria's already...
di belakang orangnya ya guys.
So, Shishan, have you noticed, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the...
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as...
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia.
Please, please stop!
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do?
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me—
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking—
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's a—
Miss Sataria, nothing is—
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the— You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Child of King Deshret. Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the sage's plans. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides,
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated up. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about—
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around— But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff at the high school— I've just been working to meet the Grand Sages, but— However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work.
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand... One thing, though. I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closed... let me see... let's use the most primitive method.
The Academia entrance.
Don't worry about that. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards.
All right, I trust.
So, if I were to
That'll depend on the judgment.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring...
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can...
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and...
Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild. That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Cat.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that if something were to happen, my existence may... After all, the Academe...
Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of the night.
No, I think he's right. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets.
Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only...
I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off.
Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us,
Oke, kita pergi ke akademia guys ya. Kita teleport aja cuy di sini. Ku singkat, ku potong. Oke, nice, sudah sampai teman di akademia. Akademia ini musuh kita guys ya. Katanya lagi ini cok, jalannya sepi cuy. Entah kenapa. Dan kita ya nggak apa-apa lah gitu kan. Ini kayaknya epic moment guys ya kalau ada kayak gini nih. Kita diam aja cuy.
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the Academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
Oh no, what should we do? These are all just regular people.
Oh. Leave now. You need to get out of here.
What? That guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here!
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru. Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
This should be far enough. Is Nahida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him. Sataria did, and that even the sages are wary of him. Yep, sounds like she must have been talking about the... Yeah. Now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the academia. But what are the Fatui after this time? And yeah, things would be a lot easier with Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. You mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with... Even though he turned it down at the time. There's no time to lose.
Nice, selesai. Langsung kita teleport nih guys ya. Disuruhnya kita ke Gandharva Villa Gandharva. Oke, let's go. Tenang. Nah, di sini aku nggak mau potong dulu guys ya. Gandharva Villa ntar dulu cuy. Ini kita jumpa sama si para pesuruh bayaran guys ya. Di sini aku mau showcase kekuatan hyper bloomku cuy ketika ada seorang Nahida, sehingga Dendro MC ini nggak dipakai lagi guys ya di tim aku. Mungkin di spiral nanti aku pakai lagi cuy. Aku lebih suka Dendro cuy. Simple tapi sakit cuy ya kan. Nggak pakai ini itu cuy. Karena kita main di HP guys, bukan di PC, jadi nggak perlu mekanik tinggi, cuman damage-nya sakit guys ya, itu aku suka. Simple dan nggak ribet, tapi sakit. Dia tinggal kasih hijau-hijauan, dan hijau-hijau si Nahida ini tahannya 30 detik ya. Kalau sekitar segitu cuy, 20 detik sekian ya. Tuh damage-nya 2000. Damage si Nahida tuh guys ya. Ini 27.000 guys.
I see everything.
Where do you think you're going?
Kalian bayangin cuy. Dan satu orang itu kena hyper bloom itu cuma 2 guys. 27.000 kali 2 itu kan 4. Jadi sekali mendemek itu hyper bloom itu 54.000. Maka sebagai pemula dia kan bisa pakai itu loh guys ya. Oke, sudah selesai, mungkin langsung bisa lanjut ke Gandharva Villa guys. Langsung potongnya di sini. Ini penting nih guys. Yang kita skip cuy. Alright, kita ke Gandharva Villa. Oke, kita ini jumpa si Kole guys ya.
Oh, it's the traveler Paimon. Kole, it's nice to see.
To be honest, I'm not doing too well. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule.
Oh, Kole. Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here.
Oh, Master Tainari? You just left the Avidia forest.
He left? What? Isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to...
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes... No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to to leave in such a hurry?
Master Tainari originally studied in the Immorta Darshan of the Academia. Impartus Di is some. I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tainari once spent a research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living. Got it. Will do. See you.
Oke, Catherine sedang sibuk katanya guys ya. Ini katanya kayak kuis dunia guys, jadi nggak usah disingkat. Intinya kita bicara sama Catherine guys di sini. Aku potong aja ya. Oke, sudah selesai di situ kuis Catherine. Cuman jumpa si Catherine aja guys. Terus kita disuruh kemana nih? Ke Pardisdai. Oke, kita ke Pardisdai guys ya. Di sini aku juga udah apa guys ya? Belum cok. Udah, aku potong nih guys Pardisdai. Let's go. Oke, kita jumpa Catherine ternyata guys ya di sini. Nahida, sorry, Nahida guys.
Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you. Hey, this was supposed to be a touching reunion.
Actually, it's very smart of the traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up and I was facing the doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm.
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything.
Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us more.
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doctor mentioned instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still... Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to...
What a relief. The doctor sure pulled out some...
I wouldn't be relieved just... I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds, which means we've lost another... Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals.
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then... how do we stop him? He's still at the Academia, so it's possible... It feels like he's toying with... Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently...
We shouldn't give up hope just yet.
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to
Yes, I have. I can see the traveler's elemental energy. So I did... You didn't come here for sightseeing, right?
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. What?
Okay.
Alright, katanya pas masuki Pardisdai guys ya. Ini tanpa kita tekan kayaknya udah pasti di dalam guys ya, di dalam dan di atas tuh ternyata. Nah, itu ada titik-titik tuh yang mau bicara. Nah, let's go. Ngemeng sama dia guys ya.
Traveler?
It's Hypatia!
What a pleasant surprise!
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest when we last saw...
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends.
Hypatia, you're way too excited. Wait, no. Did you already finish your
What do you... My consciousness has already...
You did it? Congratulations!
It's so exhilarating when my consciousness made contact with the gods.
That sounds incredible!
Oh, all right. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help...
You can do that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try...
Hold on. I brought some spirit borneal with me.
We're...
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help you as...
Okay.
Ready?
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies.
Oke, scan misterius lagi dari petir ya, Inazuma nih kayaknya. Si Raiden kah?
The first to betray me was a god. My creator.
Penciptaku, ibuku. Oh, anak si Raiden, anak Raiden, cuy, anak Raiden. Alright.
Valuing strength above all. She saw no
Oh,
worth
dia
in me
tidak
and I was
menganggapku
discarded.
sebagai anaknya, guys ya, dan membuangku begitu saja.
The second was a human.
Oh, dia menceritakan
My
tentang
family.
pengkhianatannya ya.
My friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounced the world and laughed in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
What was that? Did we actually just see the Balladier's memories? But how is he connected to the divine consciousness that...
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Alas, shame. If only that which beats within my chest wasn't a filthy
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no Purina life, but rather...
You! Why are you so mean to me? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise?
Apasia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait, have I already lost my mind?
Wait, something isn't right.
Oke, berarti ini kayaknya guys ya. Bosnya di Inazuma cuy. Sumeru, sorry. Kalau di Inazuma kan si Raiden, yang di ini Storm Terror Lair ya kan, atau si naga angin tuh. Kalau di Sumeru kita lawan ini cuy. Bos yang terakhir itu kayaknya ya, robot itu tadi guys. Dan mirip kayak kekuatan angin itu guys karakternya. Kayak nggak tahu lah entah siapa. Kita berlari ya, matik nari ya di sini. Loh kok tiba-tiba ada Tinari teman?
Are you okay, Nahida? Wait, no.
Oh, the traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here. What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also— Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a— The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can—
Oh no! Nahida's trapped in the same— Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense! Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say it. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown— Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and— Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh, but she isn't with us anymore.
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana, correct? Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a—
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the— I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on—
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, all I know is that the project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body? What?
Do you have any evidence? So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those—
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia fort?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, if I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by— Now that you mention it, I knew but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the doctor and the balladeer. We have two— From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. But then, what is the connection between—
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals. Right, we've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out.
I'll stay here for now. I still want to If you're planning to go into the desert, start by Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help.
Thanks, Tainari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon.
Oke, nice. Misi selesai. Kita ke mana nih katanya? Karavan Ribat. Ini kayaknya ke padang pasir guys ya. Ini aku udah aku jelajahi semua anjing waktu awal-awal guys. nyari kutu contoh si Saino, bangke memang si Saino ya. Sempak. Kutu-kutu tai cowok sumpah, entah apa buat dia. Cuman kayaknya Saino aku mainin lagi guys ya, sebagai pemain Hyper Bloom cuy. Awas aja kalian ya. Kemarin kalian bilang Saino nggak berguna cuy, karena susah kali nyari apanya. Cuman kalau niat pasti bisa guys ya. Sekarang aja double level 70 cok Saino aku. Tanya Saino nggak berguna guys, lebih baik Ayato. Sekarang Ayato ku nggak kepake guys. Sebenarnya semua karakter itu berpotensial semua guys ya, tergantung dari timnya sama build-buildnya guys. Sebenarnya berpotensi semua gitu untuk dikembangin. Cuma aku lebih suka Hyper Bloom guys gitu loh. Jadi Hydro nggak perlu kali guys, apalagi si Saino itu cuman burstnya doang yang ku andalin cok. Kalau dia mau ku pakein gitu loh. Oke, ada si Al Hitam. Sebenarnya bagus loh guys menurutku ya. Tergantung itunya, build-nya sama tim-timnya gitu loh. Kita kejar dulu lagi saya ini.
Wonder what he's up to.
Al Hitam.
What the? Where did he go? How did we lose him?
More Aramite mercenaries? How are they?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of person. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a
You really gave Paimon a scare, Al-Haytham. We never thought we'd run it. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the Academia? Wait.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the Academia's hip. However, had I wished to turn you over to the Academia, don't you think you'd already be—
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that and these days, you're more fascinating than anything the same. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still— Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the— Which brings me back to you, and why you're— The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something.
Al-Haytham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia, but that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about— No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you—
That's right! We have the same plan as you!
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert.
It's always better to travel with someone.
Oke, kita disuruh Al-Haytham ke sini guys ya, apa namanya? Aru Village. Let's go, Mamang.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe—
Whoa, this.
Bangke, sampai HP aku pun menolak untuk apa guys ya. Lancar cok, sumpah. Bangke. Sorry guys ya. Bukan PC cok, sumpah. Macet-macet anjir. Anjay lah. Anjay lah boy.
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Muhammad—
Oh, Haytham. Do not think you can escape my judgment.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your action.
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist.
Seemed to me more like your own—
Who is it.
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer.
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he...
I won't waste my breath explaining things. I'll take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and...
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them!
Ahem. Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a...
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so...
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly!
Someone's calling for us! Oh,
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia...
All right, stop yelling.
Anjay, baru kita ngomongin si Sino guys ya, keluar deh cok. Ini tempatnya nih kayaknya. Seimbang BTW guys ya, di sini secondnya cuy.
Hey, wanna play sardines with three
Oke,
people who
Paimon
wanna
berbisik
carry
kepada
each
kita
other limb
bahwasannya
from
mereka
limb?
galak ya guys ya.
Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm. Please, let me introduce myself.
Our savior has come. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only...
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should... As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from... And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that... So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures...
Oh, on second thought, Paimon?
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make my...
All right, we got it.
That's what I like to hear.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two...
Wait, that was you trying to be a...
I have nothing to hide. so there's no shame in explaining my... While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to...
Huh?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request. But I soon found that all leads and potential... I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached. The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the Sage. I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the Sages. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the... I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the Sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scared. Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the Academia, I overheard a conversation. The Sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler.
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with a divine knowledge capsule.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with...
Al-Haytham!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this...
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information. Namely, that divine knowledge... From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a... So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one...
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear, so it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt... After all, curiosity...
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia.
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see. And now you, Dia. I believe it's...
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been... My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayan, I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds...
That's more like it. I missed you all so much.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside.
Creatures? In the sandstorm?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry.
winds died down. That means Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright?
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. Alright, let's go. We've been...
Oke, nice. Kita disuruh keluar guys ya. Katanya badainya udah reda nih guys. Let's go, kita keluar cuy. Oke, kita disuruh periksa kondisi di luar rumah kepala desa guys ya. Oh ya, kita dari rumah kepala desa tadi guys ya. Cuman ini udah 1 jam guys ya. Aku lanjut besok aja guys ya. Dan see you next video guys. Bye bye. Sorry guys ya kalau aku jarang upload cuy di bagian Genshin Impact-nya.